Great rising, beautiful people, great rising on this splendiferous Sunday. Page 3 of our new chapter of 365 pages. As most of you know, on day 2, page 2 of our new book, our new chapter, first chapter, I gained a new ancestor. My mom transitioned sometime in the afternoon, and I'm not okay, but I will be. You know, it's the hardest part is not necessarily that she transitioned, because we're all going to do that. So it's crazy that we know this, but no matter what, life still does not prepare you for how to feel and how to respond when it does. And that's just the human side of us. But the part that really, really has me bogged down is that for the last 2 weeks or so, she couldn't have any visitors. So everything she was going through, she went through alone. And that is so disheartening. You know, I've had, unfortunately, several of my friends who had mothers to transition, children that transitioned. And one of the biggest parts of their post when they spoke on it was the fact that they weren't able to be there, to hold their parents' or loved one's hand during such a difficult time. This COVID is real, and even though most of us probably are walking around with it and are, asymptomatic, we have to think about those who are not as healthy as us, our seniors, and some people like myself that have respiratory diseases like asthma or what have you, that if it touches them, it can really take them down or out. So I'm for real. Don't invite me to nothing on Facebook or nowhere else. I ain't gonna lie. It's not that I took COVID as a joke or anything, but I just felt a little invincible, I guess. I wear my mask, but I know I boost my immune system, and I do all the things I feel like are necessary so that if I did get it, it wouldn't, take me out or what have you. And but this touched home on a extremely hard level, and I see videos of so many people out partying without masks in close quarters. And then you go home to, if you have family, your family. Do you think about them when you go home? Do you take those possibly contaminated clothes off at the door and, put them in a bag? Or if you have a wash and dryer, put them in the wash and do what you have to do, and you go take a shower? Do you quarantine yourself as much as possible from those family members? Do you do all that you can to assure that whatever you may have picked up and brought home to your loved ones doesn't affect them? COVID is a lot bigger than just us on a personal level. So today, on this splendiferous Sunday, I just want to encourage you to just be mindful in your everyday dealings. Granted, I didn't see my mom, so I wasn't able to see her. I asked and was told no, because she was COVID positive. And that was that, So, of course, back to that, she had to suffer that alone for the last 2 weeks. But I really want to encourage you all to be so mindful. So mindful. in your everyday dealings to think about the people other than yourselves. If you have an older, excuse me, you know, y'all don't know how many times I tried this and said I wasn't going to cry, but I guess it is what it is. But just be mindful of who you're going to be around after you go out, and who you may possibly come in contact with who looks fine but could be carrying it, and you're carrying it back to you, to your home, or to your people when you visit your parents who may be older, or your grandparents who are older, or anyone who has a compromised immune system. Just be mindful, because though we know transitioning happens, and it's going to happen to each and every one of us, the suffering that these loved ones have to do alone, with no one who genuinely loves them, can't hold their hand, can't talk to them, rub their heads and tell them it's going to be all right, so that their last breath is not taken around a room full of strangers. I couldn't imagine. I can't imagine how she could have possibly felt going through all of that alone. So again, I say on today, page 3 of this new 365-page book that we're writing now, on today, I seriously want to encourage each and every one of you to be so much more mindful of when you go out and you come home, or visiting anyone else, how it could affect them if they were to contract something that you picked up. You may be okay, but it'll hit them differently. All right, y'all, so go forth in love, peace, and light. Know that I love y'all with my whole heart. Cherish those around you. If you have any lingering issues with loved ones, resolve them. Because as I always say, we don't know the day nor the hour of when any of us will leave this place. So leave it knowing that you did everything you can to be right with even those who wronged you. Because that forgiveness and that righting is not for them. It is solely for you and your conscience, so that you can go on knowing you did all you could do. So if it be the Most High's will, y'all, on day 4, I'll be back.